Whatever you're doing, whether it's selling real estate or doing creative, it's all mechanisms to raise cash. Now the question is, what do you actually do with the money that you're making? Anyone besides me notice that this industry is full of people who have a hard time managing their money? Make a lot of money, but don't have a lot to show for it, yes or yes? I remember being on calls where I was usually one of the youngest people on that call. In mastermind groups, I would say to them, look guys, I mean this with love, I'm not trying to be a jerk. If I'm still on this call in my 60s and we're talking about contacts, I screwed up. And you guys have the thing that everybody thinks they need in order to create financial freedom and independence for themselves. What is that?
Rev share.
No, yeah. The ability to raise a lot of what? Very quickly with a limited level of education. You know what the barrier to entry is to get a real estate license? You need a 70 on a test, $1,000 and not be a felon. Yet, and you just saw 2 real estate agents that are gonna gross like almost $3 million in a calendar year, okay? So we have the thing that everybody thinks that they need. Something gets in the way though. And if you wanna build an empire, you need partners. If you wanna do something big, you're gonna need people's help. With all this cash that we're raising, we have to make some decisions and be purposeful and intentional, right? Because I don't know about you guys. I mean, I'm 44. I feel like I just started, you know what I mean? Like I was 26 like 10 minutes ago. It happens really quick. And when me and Carla were preparing for this, we started to think, because we get questions all the time, directly or between us, like, hey, how did you guys build what you've built? And in thinking about it, I said, wow, like, who is the most important partner that you have in your business to help you to build an empire? Who's your most important partner?
Spouse.
I'm sorry?
Spouse.
Or significant other, yes or yes? So for that reason, there needs to be extreme clarity, yes? Around a few things. Now, the thing to think about is if hard work led to success, the donkey would own the farm. It takes something more than that. It takes strategy, it takes intention, it takes purpose, right? So, building an empire requires teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work. We talked about who's the most important partner. Okay, now what are the 3 things you have to get clarity on with that partner? The first is alignment on goal and objective. Now, at the beginning, when all that began, right, we sat down and had a conversation. And even though there may be like some differences, there was alignment in terms of the ultimate goal and objective, yes?
Yes.
And what did you tell me was your ultimate thing that was the like few variables that were so important to you?
I didn't think very big back then, but I wanted my kids to go to a good school. I wanted them to be able to do whatever extracurricular activities they wanted to do. And I wanted to travel.
Pretty simple. That's what she said to me, okay? I want to go to good schools, right? I want to, extracurriculars in the summer, whatever you want to do, we do it. Anybody besides me, like that was ever an issue in your house? Was for me. They're like, what, you're going to play baseball? How much does that cost? Right? And I want to travel. I said, okay, cool. So there was some alignment. Now, next thing you got to get clear on are roles. Because are there different roles in a partnership?
Yes.
I'm sorry, louder?
Yes.
Hey, do you notice this conversation's like, interesting, yeah? There's roles and you got to get clear on what those roles are. And then the third thing is vehicles. Like, what are we going to actually do with this, with the cash that we're raising? Okay, because what do people normally do the instant that their income goes up? They immediately raise their lifestyle. So they have nicer stuff, but they're broke. They're no different than when they didn't have any money. Okay? So, you have 2 choices to make. 2 choices. One is to optimize for status and comfort, and the other is to optimize for time freedom and location freedom. Now, when I say optimize for status and comfort, what do I mean?
House.
Yes, status. Yeah, houses, cars, watches. Anybody besides me ever do that? Up, up, up. Hey, Adele's just like, yeah. And comfort and convenience, yes? Or time freedom and location freedom. What do you think I mean by that?
What you're doing. And your business.
Yeah. Hey, you can go where you want, when you want, for how long as you want.
And you're still making money.
And you're still making money. You have an income. You know what I tell people? I want an army of dollars that follow me around the planet wherever I go. And they're like, yeah, I'm with him. Yeah, you have a portable stream of income. But here's the interesting part, because think about this. So when we got together, was this what we optimized for? Was it ever what we optimized for?
No, we lived way below our means for Probably too long, but
Well, how long would you say?
15 years.
Yeah. I was making $1 million a year living in a 1,500 square foot townhome.
Was there any like internal battle?
So me, I was like, yeah, let me get a CLS 500 Mercedes. Let me get the watch. There was a little bit of that, but it was really, it was like, if you looked at it ratios wise, it was like 90-10. 90 time freedom, location freedom, a little bit of that other stuff.
And I told you what I wanted. It was very simple. You don't really need that much to achieve that, you know, to have your kids do whatever extracurricular they want, to travel a couple times a year.
Yeah.
It's not that.
Yeah, and you were never like, bro, we need a bigger house.
No.
And you were never
No,
like,
because-
hey, we're making all this money, like we should upgrade.
Because there was always a vision.
Yes.
Like if we do this for a certain amount of time, this is where we're going to get.
That's
and
right.
as long as you're clear on that, it's like, well, I'll live here for as long as it takes if at some point we get there.
That's right.
And
Yeah.
the time frame has to be clear. It can't be like someday. It has to be like 5 years from now, this is where it's going to be.
Yeah,
Fine.
and she's really good at keeping me to timeframes.
Yes.
Because what do highly productive people want to do? Prolong timeframes.
Right.
Oh, let me make $1 million more. Let me make this. Yeah, you just keep
Let's
pushing it
try
out. 200
deals. Why
Yeah.
don't we do 250 deals?
Yeah.
We did 100. We did 200. Like, how much is enough?
Yes.
Like, when is it gonna ever be enough?
Yeah, and the interesting part is when you think about this, most people who have money, they either live in it, drive it, or wear it.
Yeah.
Which is dumb. It's a status game. What do you get for status games? Tell me. Nothing.
Stress.
You don't get anything. It's like you play stupid games, you get stupid prizes. Like it's not a reward. You don't actually get anything out of it. You see what I'm saying?
And it loses its luster. Like, you get the car, but then
Yeah, I got the
later,
CLS
is it that
500 Mercedes, and then like a month later, I'm like, okay,
It's just a car.
just a car, dude. Like whatever. So there's belief still. So people come to me and they're like, hey, I want this result. I want this outcome. And then they want to talk about behavior. So what do I need to change behavioral wise? Yes? We've had these conversations, yes? Then the issue is anybody besides me ever like tried to change a behavior and it didn't stick?
Yes.
Do you know why? You didn't address what's behind the behavior, which are beliefs. Okay? So what are the beliefs behind optimizing for status and comfort? Let's say you choose, whether it's consciously or unconsciously, because by the way, what does our society tell us to optimize for? Status, comfort, and convenience.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I'll get more listings if I get that nice car. You try to justify something stupid. What else? Oh, I work so hard and it's crushing my soul that I deserve it. What else? I want to, hey, significance. Don't you know who I am? Attached to what other people think? Hey, I could just make more. Who gives a shit? These are ones, because we were thinking about this. One belief is status matters. Now, there used to be a time in human history where it did. So if I was like the chief, right, and I had this like cool headdress that made it very clear that I was the chief, I got the best food, the best lady, like all that, right? But we don't live in a time where that matters anymore, but we're still playing that game. You mentioned it, Abel. You will always earn much more. Hey, this spigot that's pumping out whatever it is, $1 million, $2 million, it's always gonna be there. That is not an accurate assessment. I can earn my way out. Yeah, I pissed away all this money, I'll just earn my way out. No big deal. Or even worse, there's some people who think it's a form of motivation. What? I'm gonna go into debt, stress myself out to motivate myself? Now, no, listen to me. If you're taking notes, write this down. Some people think consuming big is thinking big. It's not. Don't get that confused. Thinking big is when I'm 40, I don't have to work anymore. That's thinking big. Thinking big is nobody has ownership over my body and my time. Yeah, what people think matters. That's what we talked about. Listen to this. The primary goal of a programmer of a game is to elongate the time before the one playing the game realizes that the game is pointless. So if somebody's going to program a game, they want you to stay and play at it, right? So their whole goal is to elongate the time before you realize you sitting here and playing it is pointless. Now, what's interesting is neither me or you separate, because your experience as a younger person was different than mine. Both of your parents are retired physicians. Mm-hmm. I tell my kids, she married Aladdin. You know, the broke guy who was like stealing like apples? I turned into a prince, but like, she's like Princess Jasmine, right?
I saw the potential.
But your parents, even though they had money, didn't believe in any of these things.
No, because they were immigrants and they lost everything and had to come here from nothing. So it was very much ingrained in us, like, you gotta save, save, save. You never know, las vacas flacas.
Explain what that means for those who don't speak
the
Spanish.
Skinny cows, you gotta save for the time when the cows are skinny, because you never know when that's gonna happen. They lost everything from one day to the next.
Yeah, dude, when I first met her dad, he came outside, I thought he was the gardener. Legit, he was like dressed in like wild clothes, he's like getting out of this like old truck. I'm like, who the hell is this guy? Is he like the help? right? But they had a different set of beliefs.
Right. It's about taking care of your family, security.
Yeah, and I remember when I met him, I looked at his wrist, and it was like a Timex. And I was like, it like scrambled my brain. Like, what? Why? Like, I don't get it. But what did they invest in? Education. All their kids went to private school. They all took trips to Europe. You see what I mean? They had a different set of beliefs. Okay. Now, what are the beliefs that would cause you to optimize for time freedom and location freedom? Oh, I'm sorry. So what is my most valuable asset? Ah, that belief would cause me to behave differently, wouldn't it? What else?
We're gonna die one day.
Oh, there will be a day where I'm no longer physically here on this planet, unbeknownst to most of us. Because we imagine we're going to live forever, which is not the case.
Yeah, I wanna have to do this 2 decades.
Yeah. Yeah, listen, there's going to come a time where I don't want to sell real estate anymore. Bro, I sold 2,000 homes in my career. I tell her, like, there's almost nowhere we can drive around South Florida that I'm not remembering going on an appointment. But we were driving by this place called Century Village. They call it Cemetery Village. And I used to go on so many listing appointments there. I literally was like, like just driving by, like I need to take a shower. Like that's just imagining going in there being like, hey, I was like, oh my God. Like there will come a time where you don't want to do it anymore. That's a belief that would cause you to behave differently. What other beliefs in terms of time freedom and location freedom? The time I have with my kids is limited. That would cause me to behave differently as it pertains to resources. Having time freedom and location freedom allows me to pour into relationships which are actually the most valuable. You know what's interesting? You know, going back to like Bible study, when somebody asked them, what's the greatest commandment? Love the Lord with all your heart and love your neighbor as thyself. He knew relationships were the most valuable. That's what he's trying to tell us. I guarantee you nobody's going to be at my funeral and be like, he was a fantastic real estate agent.
Well, maybe.
He sold 2,000 homes. No, that's not what they're going to say. I promise. Okay? So let's look at me and Carla, what we were doing is we were downloading our software. I'm like, well, what are our beliefs around this, right? The only thing that is actually scarce is time. Everything else is an illusion in terms of scarcity. The only thing that's really scarce is time. Let me ask you a question. Is there any shortage of money on planet Earth? No, there's not. And our ability, they try to convince you like, oh, we're running out of resources. Dude, our ability, as the population has exploded, our amount of resources has gone up. It's actually a factor of human time spent digging them up. So the only thing that's actually scarce is time. There will come a time when I don't want to do this anymore. Carla, for probably 5 years that we were doing it, didn't want to do it anymore. You know what I ask everybody who works together as a couple? And they say, yeah, you know, my wife, whatever their roles are, which we're going to talk about roles, I ask them, hey, does she do this or he do this because he wants to or because he loves you? It always catches the guys. They're like, oh yeah, she doesn't want to do this. And how long did you tell me I don't want to do this anymore?
At least 5 years.
5 years. And we were doing a lot of business, making a lot of money. She's like, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to be able to do what I want, when I want, with who I want. Now, this is interesting because Jose, you told me on the predictive index, my profile is a maverick. And the first thing you said is I'm really hard what? Like almost impossible to manage. Why? My need for control and dominance is off the charts. It like literally on the testing mechanism, I'm like over here, okay? I want to be able to do what I want, when I want, with who I want. I want to be able to, if me and Carla are somewhere and the service sucks, I get up and leave and they're like, we're still going to charge you. And I'm like, I don't care. I don't want to be controlled in any way, right? The real value of money is that it buys options, freedom, choices, medicine, and education. So my mom, some of you guys may know this story, some of you guys don't. My mom had a brain bleed when she was 47 years old that rendered her handicapped on one side of her body. Because of these beliefs and because we were executing, we were relatively young.
You're probably 25, 26?
Yeah, 25.
It's right after we got married.
I bought her a condo and paid cash because she needed a place to live. I was able to help her in her time of need. If I was optimizing for status and comfort, would I have been able to do that? That's what it really buys. The idea of self-ownership is when a person owns themselves completely and no one has ownership or claims over their body and time. Listen to me, if you have revolving debt, somebody has a claim over your time and your body. And I want to be free. The last freedom here is financial freedom and independence. Because, you know, the United States, we're like, we're free. You're free to abide by the rules. Okay? And we shared these, yes? When we say the word wealth, like what comes up for you immediately? Money, yeah? Well, the word wealth actually comes from an old English word, which actually means well-being. So now when I say the word well-being, what comes up for you? Is it only money? What else is it?
Health.
Health? What else?
Peace of mind.
Okay. Peace of mind. What else?
Legacy.
Legacy. Okay. How about relationships? Anybody besides me ever felt a strain on relationships because you work 70 hours a week? Hey. Yeah? Okay. So this actually comes from a Harvard study. So Harvard has the longest longitudinal study of a group of people. They followed them for 85 years. Now, Harvard used to be only a men's only school, so it's just men. But they followed them for 85 years. They got their medical records. They talked to their family members. They had interviews with the individuals. And what they were looking for is what actually contributes to well-being, and what is there a variable that is directly linked to longevity. You know what's fascinating that came from it? What would you think is directly correlated to longevity? Health, right? Vitamins, cold plunges. What else do you think is directly you think somebody who has more money, they would live longer?
Being married.
Being married, okay. That's close. What they actually found is the variable that's directly correlated with longevity is the quality of your core relationships and having a community that you're a part of. So meaning, do the people that you want to love you still love you? And still want to be around you? Anybody know, besides me, know somebody who has a lot of money and status and none of their family wants to be around them? Mm-hmm. Yeah. To me, that's an abject, like, you don't want to be a public success and a private mess. So, and money has its limits. So if you look on this, like, you know, there's health, loneliness harms your health, right? Quality of relationships matter. You know, having a purpose and a mission beyond just making money. And money, it's limited. It's only a portion. How many people besides me have treated it like it was the whole pie? Yeah, okay, good. Now, what gets in the way of actually us making deposits in these other areas like health, like relationships, like having purpose, and what gets in the way?
More time.
I'm sorry?
Too much.
Not having enough? And do you see how if I'm optimizing for status and comfort, I'm guaranteeing that I will never have enough time. It is time. Now, look at some of these. This is the amount of time you will spend with your direct family. Okay? So like brothers, sisters, loved ones, right? You'll notice once you hit 18, like right around 21, it drops dramatically, right? So the majority of the time that you're going to spend it with them is from the time you were born until the time you're around like 20. How many times has like maybe a sibling or like a loved one said, hey, let's hang out, and you're like, that would be cool, but I am
busy.
Okay. Look at this one. This one's outrageous. This is the amount of time that you spend with your children, right? And how much it drops dramatically over time. Okay. So here in peak, look, when you are in your like 30s, 40s, you know, like right up to like where I'm 44, I'm at the tail end of the amount of time that I'm going to spend with them. Now, if I was still hard charging, right? If I was optimizing for status and comfort and whatever and doing that and didn't have time to spend time with them, how much of this could I capture? None. Very little. Hey, these are called the facts. It's the way it is. Look at the time. This is what happens to the time that you spend alone. I need you to understand, if you're not comfortable with yourself, that's going to be a problem long term. Because the amount of time that you spend with yourself goes up dramatically. I tell Carla, like, the kids they were out of the house because they slept over because we were taking this trip. And I was like, wow, this is so like, you know, God willing, like this is what it's going to be. This should be me and her. I'm like, yeah, I like you. It's cool. But you know what I mean? Like it's a different season. Yeah. And it just goes up as time progresses. Now imagine as it's going up and you're alone and you still have to work all the time. Bro, we all know people that way, yes?
It's soul crushing.
It is soul crushing. And this here is it looks all complicated, but it comes from a book called Die with Zero. I would highly recommend you read that book. And what he's talking about, and I'll explain it to you, and it'll make sense as you look at it, you know, maybe on your phone or whatever, is that health and wealth actually intersect. Because the thing about wealth is if you leave it alone, if you invest it, what happens over time? It just compounds independent of you. It just keeps getting bigger. But what happens to our wealth independent of how hard we try, what happens to our health as time progresses? It just declines. It's the way it is. So there is an intersection between where health and wealth are at their peak. And usually for really hard chargers and highly productive people, it's between the ages of 45 and 60. So meaning like, yeah, wealth will keep going up, but when you're 60 with a high degree of probability, you're probably not going to be in the same physical condition that you are in 45, right? So the health starts to decline, which ends up inhibiting what you can do. So his premise is that when you find yourself at that place, which some of you are getting very close to that already, instead of maniacally and obsessively trying to increase wealth, what I should do is no longer try to do that and try to increase experiences and spend down the money that I've accumulated over time to die with zero. Because check this out, if you die with $1 million in the bank, that's $1 million worth of experiences that you were not able to have. Like if I were to say, let's say I said to Jose, hey, I'm gonna rent out, we're gonna go to Costa Rica for 3 weeks. I'm gonna rent out a place. We'll have a private chef. We'll do the whole thing. Families can hang out. Cost $35,000, and I pay for it, or $30,000. I still have $970,000 worth of experiences that I can have. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's a completely different way of thinking.
It makes me think of like if you were told you're dying on a Tuesday,
Mhm.
Yeah.
you have $1 million in the bank, and if you take that million and you can get in one more day for it, would you spend it?
Yeah, of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
So it's like, what does it matter? At the end, like, does it really matter?
Right.
Are you dying with it or without?
Well, and this is something like it took me a while to unwind this, and I'm still unwinding it, like optimizing for experiences. So like, we took a trip recently, we took a cruise, and it was nice, whatever, and the places you get off, like, it's fine. But you know what the main thing I got out of that? Nobody's phones worked. So you know what we had for 7 full days? Complete undivided attention. From the time they woke up to the time they went to bed. So we wake up early in the morning, eat breakfast together, sit down breakfast, cool, go on an excursion, come back, watch movies in bed together, then go out to dinner, go see a show, and go to bed.
Well, also think about like as a society what they feed us. Okay, you're gonna work till you're 62, 63. You're gonna live the next golden years, but if you look at your health by that time, you may be having an extra 5 years, 7 years to do anything. And by that time, you have the wealth, but your health is shit in some cases. So it doesn't give you that long of a window the way society pitches it.
Agreed. 100%. So this comes to a very important part, which is roles. And me and Carl have had over 20 years, a lot of intense, sometimes intense, and we'll go into why, but issues of roles. Anybody besides me, I'm curious, with a significant other, there's been friction around work and business? Yeah. Hey,
Unheard of.
But there's 2 categories of roles. The first role is a supportive role, and the second role is a lead role. And it exists both in business and in the family. So maybe you can share a little bit about that.
Just what my role is?
Yeah, or like around go ahead. Around that.
Well, I'm obviously the supportive role in the business I'm the supportive role of the business and the lead role in the family.
Yes, 100%. And I'm curious, was there friction around being in the supportive role?
Yes, because I was told by society that it was a lesser role, that it wasn't important, that I felt like I was sacrificing my potential being in another role. So I had to unlearn that, and that took a while, but we're gonna get into that.
So, but what I'm aware of is not being clear on roles leads to a lack of clarity, and then there's constant friction. And what Carla just alluded to is absolutely correct. Society does a really powerful job trying to influence what you think around this topic.
Mm-hmm.
How many people, you guys were talking about, we were on the hike and they're talking about like some, I don't know, reality TV show they're watching, and the people there are like, I'm a high value woman, I'm a high value man.
Love Island.
Bro, that's society feeding them that bullshit. You understand that? I'm like, what's your value? You're hot? Okay, what else? Like, you know what I mean? It's society feeding them. So it creates lots of friction in relationships, okay? So what are some ways that society tries to influence us on roles? Tell me. I'm sorry? Power couple, okay, cool, yep.
Dual income, no kids.
Yeah, dual income, no kids. Society tries to push that on you. What else? I'm sorry? I'm independent, you can't tell me what to do. Hey,
I don't need a man.
I don't need a man. Anybody heard that? Hyper independency.
Right now, there's a big shift with like going back societally. Like women should be at home, men should be the provider, and women don't need to like be bringing money in or working. So it's like going back.
Yeah.
It was all about girl boss. Now it's going back to being in your soft girl era.
Yeah.
I love it. Hey, just so we know, either one's okay. Not that one's better than the other.
Both are valid. Both are valid, but it has to be clear.
But I think what's interesting is that I think that when taken to an extreme, people realize that it's a lie.
Yeah.
It's not true. Because let's say you do like the girl boss thing, you take it to an extreme, but then you recognize like, oh, there's like something that's not being fulfilled here, something that's missing. Or thinking like, yo, I don't need anybody, independent of genders, but like, I don't need a person or a partner. And then you're lonely. And you're not enjoying your experience, and you have no purpose, and you have no mission. You see what I'm saying? But they definitely do like a hardcore job of trying to influence us. And I could speak, I'm curious, what about the guy roles? How do they try to influence us on that? Or let's say the provider role.
I'm the man, so the way that I say.
Yeah, I'm the provider, so whatever I say goes, whatever. Okay, yep. What else?
Doing things at the house is not masculine.
Yes, doing things at the house is not masculine. What else?
The more possessions you have, the better you are.
Yeah. I think also too, hey, is it okay for men to miss out on, or let's say the provider to miss out on extracurricular activities? Hey, watch this. Me and Carla did a couples retreat. And one of the things at the retreat is she had to, like, it was this thing where you put your hand on your heart and you had to say like, hey, I'm sorry, and then say something. Bro, the first round she did that, she put her hand on my heart and said, hey, I'm sorry you had to miss out on stuff with the kids. Dude, I lost it for like 10 minutes. Like we think that stuff doesn't bother us. It does, bro. You know what I mean? But society tries to tell you like, don't worry about that. Who cares? Right? You're doing your role. You're providing. And the biggest lie, everything should be 50-50. How many people have heard that? How much friction does that cause? A tremendous amount. And that was one, like for you, that was like, there was a lie there around that, right?
Yeah.
And that created friction with me and you.
Yeah.
And actually caused what? Like a little bit of resentment, no?
Oh yeah. It's like I'm doing all the dirty work, and he gets to have this big career, and yeah, I got resentful for sure.
Anybody can relate to that. I love it, bro. I love it. And this only works if we're honest. Like, yup, right? You start to think like, oh, he gets to, or whatever, the provider gets to go out and do all this cool
He
stuff.
gets all the glamour and all the
Yeah.
recognition.
Meanwhile, I'm stepping into Cemetery Village like, I got to get out of here. You know what I'm saying?
One of the comments that one of the agents made to me just the other day, like she took, another 4% listing, one call close. I'm like calling to congratulate her. It was like her third one in like the last week or so. And she was like, Abel, I'm like so glad that you like forced me to go on my own appointments. In my head, I thought maybe I would like fail because you were on all my appointments before, and that's kind of why I thought we were successful. But now I have so much more confidence and belief in myself. So like, thank you.